Hello, hello, and welcome back to All the Mods 9 to the Sky. Last episode, we got our mystical agriculture setup going, and we are starting to grow some of our resources. Don't know why we're not. That's why. Void upgrade, classic. Anywho, we're starting to grow some of our resources so that we can automate pretty much anything. We don't have to, do the actual work for it. So we can see we have things like obsidian that we could just make nice and easy. We have free wood now. Pretty much anything we're gonna make seeds for the future. But today, ignoring this, we need to fix our power supply because there are a couple things I would like to do in the future that require a better power supply first. So we're gonna start working on that today. I think this warrants using the other basement room. That's what power is for, right? The basement. Okay, I am back. I've made myself a room for all of the Powah stuff to go inside. I also started doing a little bit of base work last night. Just been trying to do some little decorating here and there. I mostly just worked on this hallway, and then I replaced all the pillars going along here, and I got this room going now too. I changed out the floor. I made this little hallway here into our B room, and then I'm gonna work on expanding this kind of and redecorating this. And then I definitely need to rearrange everything in here. And then up here, I have this nice little light blue glass line across here to separate everything. And yeah, I think this is looking really cool. I'm actually really proud of how this is coming out. But yeah, let me know if you like this design I got going on. I'm not sure if I should continue this wood style everywhere, or if I should keep the white brick kind of look in all the other rooms. I don't know. I think I'm gonna keep this upstairs area the same too, with all these buildings and everything. This part I'm not really sure how to decorate yet, but we'll get there. All that aside though, it's time to start Powah. It's time to start getting some more storage cells first, actually. So our goal today is gonna be to automate the highest tier of power source, which is gonna be the nitro reactor, which is going to produce us 500,000 FE per tick. But we want a couple of these, so we're going to automate making these using mostly mystical agriculture. All of the ingredients that we need for this, except we need nether stars. Okay, good to know. So maybe, okay, we'll see if I get there. But we can automate, we have to go through all of the lower tier ones first, and we can get mystical agriculture seeds for all of these. So let's go through that. There are a couple of seeds I've prepared that we need to make first, though, just so we have all of the resources prepared, so we don't have to manually make any of these. We're going to make fire seeds, coal seeds, iron seeds, redstone seeds, and the last one for now, at least, is going to be diamond seeds. I also probably have enough lily pad stuff now, just because I was AFK for so long, just because I was building for so long. That we probably have way more than enough mob drops for this. Let's see where this gets us. Okay, so I was able to fill out all of the lily pad spaces. So we can see we have a ring around our farm here, and all of the spaces underneath filled in. So this should give everything a nice big speed boost to make them grow nice and fast. Now, with all of our new essences, we can start making the power components. Ooh, except there is one more seed we need to make. We need uranium seeds. Uranium ore comes from sieving deep slate, and then we can just smelt this up and make some uranium seeds. Now, the reason we need uranium is because we're going to turn this into uraninite. I think that's how you say it. This is sort of the main ingredient in all of the reactors, and it's also going to be used as the fuel for the reactors. The way we make this is we're going to energize some uranium and turn it into uraninite. And then we can take 4 of these and make seeds out of them too, so we don't have to do this anymore. To actually energize something, we need both an energizing orb and an energizing rod. I just have the lowest tier one here. Can I even connect this up? Okay, we might need power cables. You have power? Will you send power to this if I put uranium in it? Yes, you will. Now we just need to wait for a minute for this to charge up. And that should turn it into some uraninite. Then we can make seeds from this too to have infinite uraninite. So now that we have some uraninite being made, we should be able to make our first reactor. we're going to need 36 of these starter reactor blocks. Okay, so I got our power reactor all set up here. I may or may not have forgotten to hit record. But now that we have this guy up, all we need to do is throw some uraninite into the fuel to start generating some power. We can do a couple of things to increase how much power this produces. We can add redstone and some coal. We can also add water as a coolant. But now that we have the lowest tier of reactor set up, we need to work on getting the next one. As you can see though, these reactors kind of get complicated where they start needing themselves and more materials, and I really don't want to handcraft all of that. So we're gonna set up some applied energistics autocrafting, and I'm just gonna set up like the most basic autocrafting setup possible. And can I just pull this off by attaching everything here for now? So to start this off, we'll need a pattern provider and a molecular assembler. This is where we're going to store all of our autocrafting patterns, and it's going to use the molecular assembler to craft them. But then we actually need the crafting CPU itself in order to handle all of the data that is being processed when we want some autocrafting. So we have a 1K crafting storage here, and you can make the higher storage crafting if you would like. It just determines how big of a recipe you can make. And then we have a crafting monitor here, which allows us to see what is working on at the moment. Everything should be good. Now to actually get some patterns, we need the pattern encoding terminal along with pattern. And we can pop this probably above our crafting terminal here. And then in here, we're going to put our blank patterns. And this is where we get to start making our patterns for our crafting recipes, which honestly probably wouldn't hurt to make a recipe for more patterns first. And then we can start making recipes for the Powah materials, like the dielectric paste. It would help to do it in the pattern encoder. And then any patterns we want to set up for auto crafting, we're just going to put in the pattern provider. And now we should be able to request the dielectric paste. Oh, it wants a lava buckets. Whoops. You can shift right click to clear a pattern as well. Guess you need to reset it. And I guess we want to make sure that we have the fluid substitutions off, so it makes a lava bucket instead out of the fire essence. And now we should be good. Cool. Now we can set some recipes. Now that we have the base material, we can set some recipes for the reactors. Once we've run out of room in our one pattern provider, we'll probably want to upgrade to the extended pattern provider, which is just as cheap. It's not really that expensive, and it holds a lot more patterns. So this is definitely going to be an upgrade. And it's really cheap too, actually. I was expecting a lot worse. Let me grab myself a second reactor, and then using those 36, we're going to make the next tier of reactor, which is the basic one. I've also come to the realization that I'm not producing uraninite nearly fast enough, so we need to fix that. This also means that I am going to need an easier way at getting the higher tier essences over just handcrafting them, because it is getting kind of annoying to craft all of those. So the first step of this is going to be to get the master infusion crystal, which basically allows all of these infusion crystals to be used from just this one, and it has unlimited uses, whereas these have durability. So we need to get this, which means we need to get insanium essence, and that is a lot of essence right there. We also need the supremium infusion crystal, which I was missing, and now we just need 4 insanium essence, and I have enough to make 1. Yay. Just need to let our essence build back up a little more, and then we should be good. Oh buddy, I think I finally got enough. Sweet. And now we can make the master infusion crystal, and then we can basically get rid of all of these other crystals. But we're going to set up some crafting, some auto crafting for the highest tier essence. If I could think about what I was doing. This we're going to set up with a crafter. I'm just going to throw this over here, and then down where we have... Oh, that's just going to into a drawer. Okay. I suppose I could just make this wonky. I need this filter to blacklist Inferium. And then this one to only send Inferium down into this crafter, but I don't want it to work just yet. And I'm not sure if there's a way to clear your old crafting recipes, but it's fine. We can just go to the top and make new ones. We're going to take our master infusion crystal and make these the same way that we did the old ones. And since we already have the essences, we can fill up these spots, making sure we keep our master infusion crystal somewhere too. We're going to hit remember so that only these items get locked in there. Suppose I do need to fill up the other spaces as well. That way, nothing else crazy will go in there. Now, inside of our crafter, there's an option here to change where the output item goes. So for all of the ones up to Insanium, we want them to get put back into the input. So this way, when it crafts the Prudentium essence, it goes right here, and it will send the infusion crystal back too. That way, it will just hold everything for us. Just repeat this all the way up to Insanium. And then this one is going to go to the output, but we want the master infusion crystal to go back. So we're going to choose the external and keep the crafting item. That's what that means, I think. Anyway, this should be working now. If we send all of our Inferium to it, it would help if I selected it to send to. Can't tell if this is working or not. Oh, it's not doing anything. That would be why. Yes, there we go. We can see we're getting some Supremium Essence, which should output the Insanium to here. Oh, heck yeah. And then if we put a drawer above this with a puller upgrade, this should pull all of that Insanium Essence out. Then we can lock this and connect it back to our main drawer. Now we should be able to access our Insanium from our controller, and we can get all of the previous essences from this just because it crafts down the same way it crafts back up. So we'll get 4 Supremium out of this one, and it would even help to make some auto-crafting for it, so we don't have to worry about it at all. Cool, and then now, when I need some Supremium to make more Uraninite seeds, we can just craft 4 of these, and be on our way. We can also send all of our old Inferium into this machine. Oh, it does need power, I forgot about that. Also, I think I finally decided on a base layout, and it's gonna change a lot from this. I think it's gonna look really cool though. So just bear with me if things start changing around. Side news though, I did make another Uraninite seed though, so we should be getting lots more of that essence to go into our reactor. One fun thing we can do is automate inserting the Uraninite into the power supply. I do have a slight problem in that I'm out of channels. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. If I attach it to 2 different sides, all of these channels should be attached to one side, so we should get 8 from there. And we're only using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think. And then we can use a different side to take 8 channels from. I think next episode I'll deal with the whole ME system thing and getting more channels, because I ran into that problem last series and it was just way too much of a pain to try and fix everything once I needed more channels. So instead we're just gonna rip off the band-aid to start. So attaching an export bus to our reactor, we'll be able to import Uraninite, and then the 2 blocks that we need for efficiency. And then in this export bus, we want to make sure we add a crafting card, which is going to tell the system to actually craft the items from the pattern providers in order to put it into this system. And then we can add some acceleration cards to make the importing of items a little faster. And then the only thing that's holding this back from being completely automatic is the fact that we don't have an indestructible hoe. I've been having to replace the diamond ones every so often, but I think we're gonna get working on that very soon, now that we have everything basically set up. In order to make an indestructible hoe, we're gonna need all the modium, and this is actually made with Powah. It's made by energizing a whole bunch of items together, including the nitro crystal, which is actually the max tier crystal from Powah. And this actually requires nether stars. I have a treat to get into. Oh boy. Gonna go ahead and craft the next tier of reactor, which is the basic one. And then we can go ahead and come back here and replace our starter reactor with the basic one to get some more power flowing. And then we can take our old one and upgrade it into the next tier, which is going to be the hardened reactor, if I can find it. So the hardened reactor is made from a new material, which is energized steel. This is going to be made by energizing iron and gold together. And then we can take this energized steel and we can make seeds out of it. But to do this, we need some compressed blocks of energized steel. So there is actually a recipe to go ahead and make those blocks, the compressed blocks, just by energizing. So we just need a block of compressed gold and iron. Or actually 2 of these each, since we need 4 total. Cool, and we've done this before. We just attach an energizing rod to a power source and then put it in front of an energizing orb, and this will start giving it some power. We can add more of these energizing rods to make this faster, along with upgrading it from the starter tier. Yeah, so adding more rods is going to allow this to work faster by increasing the amount of energy these can send. And then once we have our 4 compressed blocks, we can make some seeds out of them. And I am so glad I did all this essence crafting, because I would have hated to have to craft Imperium right there. Now we can craft this stuff infinitely to be used for the power materials. Then I should be able to make a recipe for the next tier of reactor, and then craft those. I'm just missing a bunch of energized steel. That's okay, because now we can work on getting the next tier, which is the blazing capacitor. This comes from energizing blaze rods. And again, we can make seeds from this. We just need 4 compressed blocks of blazing crystal. Then we can energize all of these up, and that might take a minute with these low-level energizing rods. Let me see if I can upgrade these. And with that, I think that's where I'm going to leave it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that this base is coming along pretty cool. I know what I'm going to do upstairs, too. It just might be a minute before it comes along. So let me know what you guys think of the base coming along. I may actually put this world finally on the Patreon, if that's something that you're interested in. No pressure at all, of course, but it will be available for those that want it. And then, of course, I'll keep updating it. I won't just leave it. I'll keep updating the world now. Anyway, with that, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.